Go, bud.
Remind you of anything?
Yeah.
We hit a wall.
Starting day one of the races. We've already been out once. We're getting ready for out number 2. What do you think?
We're getting a check engine light for fuel rail issue, which we told the dealer about originally, and they're like, well, we can't replicate it. If we can replicate it, then we can fix it. I'm like, okay, well, unless you're gonna do 150 miles an hour, you're not gonna replicate it. So they told us this time when it happens to hit OnStar, and I guess it would log all the data. So we did that. The funny thing is, when we're going, like, we can't stop when it happens. I mean, I guess we could, but if we do, then emergency vehicles will come out to us if you pull off track. So we didn't do that. So we hit OnStar, but you can't hear. If you hit OnStar, we can't hear anything because I'm wearing plugs and we're driving fast. So we just multiple times said, check engine light came on, we need the data logged according to the dealer. So other than that, I mean, it runs fine. I mean, we didn't have any problems. And when we came back, we ran the scanner and it said again that it had a fuel rail issue, but that it had cleared the last couple times it had passed. So it must be just intermittent. It's not a fuel thing as far as like bad fuel because it happened last time too. And we've run, I don't know, 60 gallons of fuel through it at least since then. It does not do it ever unless it's on the track. And it only seems to do it if I'm wide open throttle doing like 130. I think that's what we've figured out so far. So other than that, brakes seem to be, I think they seem to be better. I'm still a little reluctant. I'm not going as fast as I have in the past just because last time we felt like we had some brake issues. So we're working our way up to it. We did a decent amount of maintenance on brakes. We did a full brake flush and we did new brakes on the front.
After looking online enough, there was no definitive answer on that because of the carbon brake rotors. The other thing is that when we bled the brakes, we definitely found debris in the brake fluid lines, and it was almost like a Vaseline. It was only found in the rear brakes, both bleeders of both rear brakes. And then the other thing is that fluid was definitely a darker tint. And we don't even know what kind of fluid. It could have been OEM fluid that was still in there. He could have changed it to race fluid and contaminated. We don't know, we just needed to change it out. So we 100% have the best that we needed to get, and it's totally flushed through. So that made a big difference. And I will say, this time, he pushed on the brake all the way to the floor last time we were out, which was his first time out. I remember him saying it when I was in the car, that, hey, I'm all the way to the floor. I don't have any more. Now when we hit it to the floor, ABS comes on. Not only do we feel it, which we didn't feel that before, there's definitely a change in the brake dynamics now. So it'll be interesting to see how the rest of it goes.
So anyway, I'll keep pushing the car more. I probably only run like 7/10 so far as capacity of what the car can do, only because I don't want to go off track again. Last time we were lucky, we went off track and we went in the grass, but there's a lot of areas that's not grass. After you do a bunch of maintenance, like brake work, you don't really want to go out there and do 160. Anyway, we'll see you guys after.
Good morning, race track fans.
Is that Elliot in front of us? Porsche?
That'd be a good question. It was that style of car that he got in and out of.
For you, Jack?
You're not at build level yet?
No. Oh, the slippery. Felt it. Track definitely is more slippery. Just a little bit of rain. Little bit of sprinkle. Yeah, he's supercharged, I think. Meaning he's got more power than me. I was surprised he kept up.
Is that a dark horse or no?
No, the GT is equivalent to a dark horse, or more than a dark horse, surely. Just it's supercharged. Got his hand out the window. You're good, dude. You're good. You're good. I couldn't tell. His gloves are black and his car's black. Because he was telling me to pass them.
How do you like your gloves? Yay, nay, get used to it some more?
Yeah, they're good.
He could be burnishing them in, maybe. Ours smelled hot when we first started, remember?
Yeah.
Oh, challenge.
I'm gonna let him pass.
Okay.
He got more horsepower than me. Go, bud.
I think he's trying.
Yeah, I'm only doing 100.
Remind you of anything?
Yeah. Tell you that 6-point harness really gets up in there.
Mine does great. Yours is stuck right between your fucking gonads, man. Yours will save your ass. Mine will. I feel like you gotta go my way. Beautiful. Nice one. You don't have to contend with other cars right there.
You know, that's it.
Yeah, that was good. There, it felt like you were stopping.
Yep.
It just doesn't like to stop after 130.
You know.
Don't worry about it. Just let off the brake. Just let off the brake. Give it gas.
We're gonna hit the wall. Ugh.
Damn it. No cars. Right car. Right car. Right car.
God damn it. I don't know what happened.
No car. You got dirt on your tires.
I know.
So I let Chris drive the car. He took Harper on the racetrack. And this is what happens. Hold on. We hit a wall. No, I did it. Chris wet himself, I think. We came out of turn 8, everything was good. Turn 9 at Sebring, there's a concrete patch that you're coming through right on the apex, which for sure, you're supposed to hit it, but for sure has less traction. And also, I think I was a little tight. The back end swung out from behind us. We were doing 122 miles per hour when we lost traction and we started spinning. We spun first windshield towards the wall. I was able to get it swung back to the right, where we were facing the track, and we slid 330 yards, 3.3 football fields.
I mean, we only made it about 75 feet on the actual track.
On the pavement, yeah, we went out and walked it. It was the day before yesterday. We went out and walked it. We actually drove out to the track after the track was cold, and we walked it the entire length. We had some pieces of the car we had to pick up, which was neat. We were actually able to feel the difference. So that patch, which you'll see in the video, the patch of concrete, it's legit just normal concrete that was patched in. It's kind of slippery. Like it's just normal concrete like you'd have a driveway, right?
It's just like this.
Yeah, and the rest is asphalt with big chunky rocks almost in it. So if you take your foot and you kind of slide it on it, on the normal track, it doesn't slide at all. Anyway, doing 122, it was my fault. I was too tight.
In the software, in the PDR software, there's a couple things. Number one, we did check tire pressure. It records 5 times a second. All tire pressures were good. Another thing to note is that was the first time that we were in sport mode on the PTMs. So in your PTMs, you have wet, dry, sport, race 1, race 2. We triple checked the morning of to verify which one does what. In wet mode, it says a bunch of stuff we don't care about wet. In dry mode, which we have been running for the most part, it says that the ESC, which is the electronic stability control, is on and you have a reduced amount of power. It doesn't say anything about traction control or anything like that, just the electronic stability control. In sport mode, it says the exact same thing. It still says ESC is on. It doesn't specify any reduced amount of ESC or anything like that. It just says that they give you more power. And then in race 1 mode, you have ESC off and reduced power. And then in race 2 mode, you have ESC off and even more power. There's also a competition mode, which is separate of the PTM mode. In competition mode, they say that they give you full power and ESC is on in competition mode 1, and then you can also hit it again and then you'll have full power with ESC off. So that's, unadulterated, you are in total control of the car, nothing in between or on the side. We had it, the whole point is we've only driven it in dry mode, which should have been ESC on and modified power at the lower modified setting. The day that this happened, we had it in sport mode, which should have still had electronic stability control.
According to the manual, it should have, but
But
In the car,
what happened is that it spun out on that side, which more or less we're really feeling should have been a control factor of the stability control. The kicker is that when we look at the video, you can clearly see that Jason didn't steer the wheel. The only thing that we can possibly attribute it to is number one, slippery surface. Number two, that one spot happened to have a higher throttle input. We can't tell if that's a throttle input from Jason's feet or if it's a throttle input from the ESC, because the ESC does control how much throttle is being applied to the wheels. Obviously, that's how they control the stability. They say that it's done on the braking side, but they specifically state right there, reduced power. The problem is that one instance, we had a 20% increase in throttle right at that exact time.
as it was losing.
Or it was a direct correlation of throttle and then loss of control. So we're thinking that had something to do with it, or sport mode had something to do with it. Point of the whole story is we're still not 100% sure. So we're taking it slow through that area, paying extra close attention to the feel of the back end as he goes through that corner with more and more and more and more speed.
Granted, we're running in dry mode again. The manual says that sport mode, traction control and ESC. But when you put sport mode on in the car, it actually tells you the ESC turns off. So that's what we're saying, it contradicts itself.
So here in wet mode, you see ESC is on in my PTM mode. On dry, ESC is on, and sport mode, ESC is on. What they're talking about when they say it may be disabled is if you go into race, ESC is off. And race 2, ESC is off. What's also interesting is if you look there at the park indicator, you can see in both race 1 and race 2, the transmission was automatically set into sport. Even though your transmission is in full track mode, your transmission and shifting, even though you're in track mode, your light up on the dash won't necessarily, the green indicator won't be on. So I'm in track and you will see nothing to say anything about PTM mode. So if I hit the Z mode, there you can see ESC may be disabled, but the push again for the PTM to be on. So that's just referencing my PTM mode that's over on the right cluster. Right now, ESC is off, and I can't change that unless I hit the Z mode, get out of it, get back in it, press again for on, I press it, now it's on, and then I can adjust sport and dry.
Last time, our brakes weren't strong enough. That definitely now I'm 100%, it was a brake problem.
100%.
Because we had no ABS working, and after we did the brake flush, we had chunks of stuff coming out in the brakes fluid. Our brakes in the front, which we found out afterwards, were burnished.
Third day of racing, he's really been letting up easy. We aren't going for any times, nothing like that. I think our time average on our good runs are what?
230, yeah. The Mustang was 232, I think.
Yeah.
So we're still running faster than the Mustang.
And I can feel that he's pulled back quite a bit. So damage-wise, first off, we did slide. We slid a lot. We had damage to both tires.
We had tons of grass. It's shoved in. We'll be able to show it later. It was actually shoved in between the bead, so between the wheel and the tire. And then on the passenger side rear tire, it was on the inside of the wheel.
And we had a little bit of skirt damage where it caught something and so it flexed.
Unfortunately, that's carbon fiber.
Nothing up in the front. No cowlings, no lip spoilers. No damage in the front at all. So we have a long one on this side, and on the other side we actually have two. So the long one had drooped down. These are really nice. And he's got the other one right here. We just haven't put it back on.
We went back out on the track and got it.
Yeah. And then in the back, we've got taillight damage.
We're just gonna live with this one.
Yep.
That's nothing. We'll replace back end
cover, yeah.
Bumper cover. I think we looked up, it's about $1,700. New taillight, $500. But here's the thing, honestly, it could have been a lot worse. Yesterday we were here, there was a really bad accident. Someone on turn 17 blew through the wall, or hit the wall, got turned sideways, probably doing 140, blasted the wall, and then stayed back out on track, and then went all the way. It sucks. Luckily, we did hear they're okay, but they had to get rushed to the hospital. It's a driver and passenger. Experienced driver, instructor. Yeah. It's a very experienced driver.
At today's meeting, they reiterated that, hey, you know, everything revolves around your safety. Everything revolves around doing your due diligence to make sure your car is safe. So you increase your horsepower, 100, 200. You want to increase your brakes. You want to increase your roll cage. You want to, one of the things that they did mention is if it doesn't matter what you're in, whether it's a Miata or a BMW or a supercar, a Corvette, your harness is very important You don't want to be out there. I mean, I could take my Chevy Traverse and go 120 down this back stretch because it'll do it. But if I hit with a 3-point harness, just the regular seat belt, you know, I'm relying completely on that airbag to stop all of that damage. And these cars are not rated to be wrecked at 120 miles an hour. They're rated to be wrecked at 70 miles an hour freeway speeds. And so all of that stuff that's normally in there for your cars is designed to save you from, you know, that kind of impact, not 140 mile an hour impact. Yeah. So they really stressed Han's device, and if you don't have a 4-point harness, they have those modified, what do they call it?
Simpson, they're the Simpson hybrids.
Simpson hybrid, that's right. That way you're at least protected. They made a really good point. $1,000 into a Simpson harness hybrid, whatever, is a lot less than the medical bills after snapping your neck.
And especially if you're in this hobby. I mean, maybe I'm a little extravagant. I think we're close to $600,000 probably with everything, which we did it right. From the beginning, we did roll cage, we did race seats, we did harnesses, we've done everything for the most part.
And it goes to show, because even after we've been in the spin, it's funny, I get in the car, I cinch down all, 6 straps, and I feel like even if we were to roll over, ain't shit happening. Yeah. Because
you feel pretty safe.
All of me is staying inside the car, inside that cage, inside that monocoque. I mean, I'm pretty much, the car could go into something and we're staying put. And like Jason said, I mean, one of the very first things he got, even for the Mustang, was the Hans device and how critical it was. You learn from other people's mistakes.
So the other thing they said this morning in our orientation, which is true, if you do this long enough, at some point you're gonna hit something. Even though we're, not professional going out there and tagging each other as we're racing or driving, at some point, if you do it long enough, you're gonna hit something, whether it's a wall, whether it's another car, whether it's you spin out of control and you hit a wall like we did. If you get into this hobby, you need to know that and expect it. For the most part in this hobby, people don't die anymore. I mean, obviously there's outliers out there, and I say this hobby like HPDE, which is what we do. This one, it was a pretty bad accident, and you'll see the car, and I mean, they hit that wall doing 140. Concrete wall, so those concrete walls that you literally line the track, it was disintegrated. They literally blasted it. They said 3 other cars got hit with some of the debris from it. It's why you have to spend the money, and you need to have all the safety stuff you need to have, because it's, hopefully nothing ever happens, but if it does, you need to be happy that you got it. You don't want to be spinning out of control and going, man, I sure wish I'd gotten a Hans. Man, I sure wish I had a roll cage. Man, I sure wish I had a better seatbelt. Our spin out of control, I think I timed it was 10 seconds, which seemed a lot longer. I mean, we were sliding because we were doing 122 miles an hour. We got turned sideways and then we slid, 300 yards or so. 330 yards total was from when we lost control to when we were done. We probably were sliding sideways for almost 300 yards of that. It seemed really long, but there was almost nothing you could do. You're just waiting to stop and hoping you don't hit anything, and you're checking your mirrors to try and brace yourself. And even to that point, I only probably knew we were gonna bump the wall the second before I said we're gonna hit the wall, but it was very slight. So I don't know how fast we were actually going when we hit the wall. I think it was maybe only 5-10 miles an hour, but again, I don't really know because we were harnessed in. It said we hit 1G, 2.5 Gs, and we went out and looked at the wall, and the wall did move about 3 inches. Don't really know what that means. Obviously we moved it, don't know how heavy those are or if they're made to give or what. So anyways, that's it.
Kayla and Jason coming back from their run. First time for Kayla in the Corvette. Kayla!
It was good.
She said it was good. Can't hear her through that. First time in the Corvette. Faster than the Dark Horse? Oh, she says it's faster, folks. She said she couldn't tell, says Jason.
I was going a little slow, though.